Episode of You Tell Yours Stories, where we share with you stories from our storytelling classes as a podcast and on YouTube and on Facebook. Learn more about our classes both online and in Burbank, California by visiting YouTellYours.com. One of the things you learn about story is that not everyone sees the world the same way. Not many people see the world the way our next storyteller, Pamela Beaty, does. And that makes this story all the more interesting.
Thank you all. Oh, that is bright. Okay, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. My mother was this beautiful, light, fun-loving, creative spirit. My dad was this dark, strict, controlling, very angry Baptist minister.
Wow.
Yeah. Welcome to my world. The whole family tried to never make him mad. Except for me. I always managed to infuriate this man because he thought I was possessed by the devil. And he thought that because I see dead people. I really do. I always have. Thank you for the moan. Empathic person. I always have, and I always thought that everybody else did too. So when I was a kid, I had full-blown conversations with these spirit friends. And one of my friends and I used to hide behind my grandmother's bedroom wall, and we would eavesdrop on my dad and my grandmother as they debated what Bible verses meant. And one day my spirit friend said to me, "Hey, go out there and tell your dad he's totally wrong about this Bible verse." Yeah. And now my dad was very proud of his Bible knowledge. So I didn't look the least bit forward to going out there and telling him he was wrong. But I trusted my spirit friend, so out I went. "You're wrong about that. Here's what it means." Yeah. Didn't seem to make him happy. And he looked at me and said, "How would you know what a Bible verse means? Who told you that?" And I took a breath and I said, "Jesus." And he looked at me and he scowled and he said, "Jesus would never talk to you. I'm a man and I'm a man of God. He doesn't talk to little girls." Then he spanked me and sent me to my room. So I figured that wasn't the time to tell him that there were many spirits around me and they were all talking to me, even though I was a girl. So I just kind of let that go for that time and didn't come back to it. The first time I realized that I was the only member of my family that talked to these spirits and heard them was at the dinner table. And I was sitting there with my guide and he leaned forward and he whispered in my ear, "Look around the room." So I looked around and I saw behind all my other family members a spirit standing behind each one of them. But my family wasn't paying any attention to these spirits, and I realized that they didn't hear them. They didn't know who they were. Beside my dad was this World War II Army vet. He was dressed in full military gear, and behind my grandmother was this elderly lady, probably 1930s, Laura Ingalls Wilder kind of dress, you know, the kind with the apron tied around her. And my grandfather, who was this saint to me, he had this beautiful man behind him who was dressed all in white and covered in light. My older sister, she didn't have anybody around her because not even dead people were crazy enough to hang out with her. And so I just decided I'd shut up about what I saw. And then one day when I was around 12 years old, my father summoned my sisters and I into the living room and told us our mother was dying of breast cancer and we weren't going to see her again. Now, I was devastated that my mother was going to leave me, but she was also going to leave me with him. I remember wishing and praying and hoping that it was my dad that was dying of cancer and not my mother. So as my mother got sicker, they shuttled us off to my aunt and uncle's house to get us out from underfoot. And then one day, when my cousins and sisters and I were playing kickball in the backyard, my grandmother came and hollered for us to come in. So when we walked in, you could feel how somber the room was. And my dad looked at us and said, "Your mother has died." So of course everybody broke into tears but me. And it didn't upset me at all. And my father looked at me and said, "Did you hear what I said?" I nodded, "Yeah, I heard you." And he said, "I just told you your mother is dead and you're not even crying. What's wrong with you?" And I looked at him and I said, "My mother didn't die. She just changed forms. She's standing right here." Well, just like in this room, you could have heard a pin drop. And he was so mad, he jumped up, he grabbed me, he dragged me into my aunt's bedroom, slammed the door, spanked me and said, "Don't come out of this room until you're ready to apologize." And then he slammed the door and left. Apparently that's how you handle kids that are possessed by the devil. I don't know. But little did he know I was fine being in that room by myself because my mother's spirit was in there with me. And she said to me, "The voices in your head are real. The spirits that you see are there. This is your gift. And one day, when you grow up, you're going to use that gift to help people." And I did. Now, I'm okay. Is some of y'all think I'm just this batshit crazy old lady that's delusional and thinks she's talking to dead people. That's okay. That's okay with me. Maybe you're right. Or not. I don't know. But what I do know is we all see the world from a different perspective. What I do know is that life is much more beautiful than people believe. And what I absolutely know is I do see them, I do talk to them, and they bring me peace. Sometimes dead people make a lot more sense to me than those that are living. So I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to get you to believe. Because I believe that everyone has the right to their own journey. So, bottom line is if there's someone in your life, dead or alive, that makes your life's journey easier, talk to them.
Hope you enjoyed Pamela's story. Our storytelling techniques are a practical way to help get yourself heard. Head over to YouTellYours.com for details of our classes and events both in Burbank and online. You can listen to this as a podcast at podcast.YouTellYours.com or find it on iTunes. And don't forget to subscribe to this either as a podcast or the YouTube channel or like or follow on the Facebook page. You can email me at mark@YouTellYours.com if you have any questions or requests. Thank you for listening or watching.